Hey everybody. Good to see you. Welcome back for day 4. How you guys doing? Hope you guys have been having a good day so far. So, how you feeling? We are past the halfway mark now of the Breakthrough Masterclass series. Woohoo, right? Celebrating you guys for showing up and continuing to show up. How great was yesterday? I was so excited that Cora was here to talk to you guys. Like when I tell you that she doesn't even resemble the Cora that I met a year ago, like I'm not kidding. She is just rocking it so much and she's so inspiring. So I'm really grateful that you guys were able to just hear from her and hear her story. Okay, who practiced your opposition tools yesterday? Who practiced sirening? Tell me, say me in the chat if you practiced sirening. Let me see. Who played with their new tools? Billy did, Laura did, Alexandra, Sam, Micah, awesome, Christine, Margaret, Laura, Lois. Good, you guys. Stay with it, stay on it. This is not like something you do once and then it stays with you. It's like conditioning any other conditioning you would do in your body, conditioning that opposition, right? Like if you're, I don't know, like going to the gym and you learn like a new exercise, right? It's not like one and done, right? So keep doing it, keep playing with the opposition tools. Um, who did your thought exercise? Tell me. Put me in the chat if you did thought exercise for our session today. Look at you guys. Yes. Ooh, we have less people who did the thought exercise. Billy, it felt difficult. Yeah, it's not always easy to look at some of these things, right? Andrea, a little. Yeah. You guys, I'm telling you, all the singers who come in and work in our intensive training program, the thought exercises are the things that we generally have to coach you into. Judy, our mindset coach, is really works with a lot of the singers who come in because it's hard to look at this stuff. You know, we don't always want to do the internal work. And it's not always easy to get clarity on some of the ways in which we've been thinking. And so it can feel sometimes, it can feel confronting, it can feel vulnerable. I really would encourage you, if you did not do it yet, please do yourself a favor and do it tonight, because the thought exercises are the bridge, okay? They are the bridge between the awareness that you're getting in your meditation and the skill set that's happening in the moment of singing. Getting clear on the thinking going on in the moment between awareness and singing. Like that's the thing that tends to block this mind-body connection. And so the thought exercises are the bridge to bring all of the stuff that's going on in the subconscious into the conscious mind. And with that clarity, then we can address, like you guys, you can't shift something that you're not aware of. And so the thought exercise is all about awareness. Don't overthink it. Don't think you need to spend like hours, like, going into the past and writing every little thing. Like it's one of those things that just time yourself. Say for the next half hour, I'm doing my thought exercise, and stream of consciousness, just like get it all out. Whatever's coming up in the moment, whatever's coming up, there's no like right way, like, oh, I forgot this, I forgot that. Just, you know what I mean? Like just get that clarity and carve out the time to get that clarity. It makes all the difference in the world. It is the bridge. So don't skip over it. So celebrating those of you who did it and those of you who are committing to do it tonight. Good. Tell me, who did your meditation today? Put meditation in the chat. Who did your meditation? I want to celebrate you. Claim it, own it, celebrate yourself for being accountable to the new mindset changes that you want to see. Meditation. Who's putting meditation? Who did your meditation today? Let's see. Christina did, Laura did, Billy did. Not yet, says Micah. Okay, get on it. Yes, Johnny, Alexa, Cherie, is going to do it after. Okay, so you guys noticing the difference between how many people celebrated that they did their meditation on Tuesday after the first day? It was like everybody, yes, I did it, I did it, I did it. And then yesterday it was like, yeah, I did it, I did it, I did it. And today it's like, not yet, I kind of did it, I did it, right? Like you guys, this is where the mindset is going to try to mess with you. because it's going to tell you, I did it yesterday, or I did it once, or I'll do it later. And then you stop doing the thing that is making the difference for everything else. And then everything else stops getting results in quite the way that you want. And then you think it's not working when it is. It's just you're not in a place that you can coordinate mind and body to get it where you want it. Okay. So this is normal. There's no blame and shame here. Okay. There's no make wrong here, but just know that consistent action is what brings consistent results. Every single one of you into the chat. Oh my God, the meditation was amazing. I did it. It was new. It was different. I got certain results in my singing. You want to keep that? Keep doing it. Okay. So this is me going like, doesn't matter what happened yesterday, make a different choice tomorrow and stay on it. And those of you who have been accountable to it, celebrate the fact that you are being accountable to the changes that you want to see. All right, I'm also celebrating all of you who booked a call with me. I'm super excited. I saw Ginger booked a call with me. I saw that there were a bunch of you. So I'm really looking forward to talking with you about the intensive training program. And for those of you who are curious but a little shy, get on my calendar. We'll talk it out. We'll see if it's the right training solution for you. And if it's not, that's okay. No biggie. We want to make sure that the people who are here are the ones who are really a fit. And if you're not, like, that's not a big deal. But let's talk it out. Okay. So we have a lot to get to today. A reminder of our housekeeping. Save your questions, train first, then answer questions. A reminder that this is the safe space for those who share and those who sing. We encourage vulnerability. We encourage bravery. I have zero tolerance policy for any meanness, criticism, judgment in the chat. So please uphold that value here in the group. All right, let's get to work. So I'm going to give you some tools today we're going to talk about. Are tools to fast track from process to performance. So these are tools to help you get out of your own way and bring it to your potential in ways that you've never done before. And we're going to show you how to do that regardless of the circumstance, right? Like regardless of how many people are watching, regardless of, whether you're in a situation that counts or doesn't count, like no matter what. And the thing that catalyzes your technique, the thing that connects you to your voice, your unique sound, the thing that fast tracks all of you to your potential so that you can go out there, perform, record, win auditions, make money doing what you love, like all the things you want, is what I call mindful integration. Mindful integration. And so this is where you start to understand the ways that you are getting in your own way that you don't even realize. And you learn how to get out of your own way when you perform so you can get out of your head. How many of you feel like you're in your head when you sing, when you perform? Put me in the chat if you feel like you're in your head when you sing. Like there's just like all of this mishigas going on and like all of a sudden the song is halfway through and you've been up here and not even connecting. Yeah, like half the time, all the time, so much of the time, me. Yeah, right. This is a common experience, okay? So this is where you start to understand mindful integration helps you get out of your head, trust your technique, trust your body, and have the tools for the biggest impact that can get you to that potential every single time. So the first concept that I want you to understand for today, first concept for mindful integration, if you're following along in your masterclass workbook, is ask more powerful questions. Ask more powerful questions. Concept number one for today. So we've got to create space for the body to integrate what's possible. And most of you sing from a very narrow, contracted, energetic space that's been created by asking some very disempowering questions. Questions like, what if I'm not as good as I think I am? Why would anyone pay me that much to sing? That one is Amy DeLuca's, by the way, right, Amy? Amy had that one. Why would anybody pay me that much to sing? And you guys will meet Amy later today. What if I botch the high note? That was Tordis. You'll meet Tordis on Saturday. What if I botch the high note? What if I take this risk in my singing career and I fall flat on my face or I'm judged? What if I invest in a producer, in training, in traveling to an audition, whatever it is, I invest and it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work? Oh, how about this one? How can I possibly compete with all these other singers who are younger, prettier, more experienced, you name it, than me? So disempowering, right? Do you guys recognize yourself in any of these disempowering questions? So disempowering. And here's what I know. Energy flows where attention goes. So since we know that singing is an energy game, then in asking all these kinds of disempowering questions, you are just feeding the contracted energetic state that then affects your body, contracts your body, sabotages the technique, sabotages the sound, sabotages the impact, and then you don't get the outcome that you really want. So you have to learn to ask better questions. This is like the questions that create the emotional state and then the response in your body that allows your best sound and your best performance to come forth. Now, you have heard me ask many, many, many better questions this week as I've been coaching our volunteers. Examples like when I was, I've coaching, how would I do this if I trusted my body? That was a couple days ago. How would you do this if you just trusted your body was built to do this? Yesterday, how would you do this if you just didn't give a crap? If there was no such thing as fail, if you didn't have to be perfect, how would you do this? Here's a good one. I didn't ask anybody this yet, but what if I do succeed? Like, what if I get up and sing and get on that stage and knock it out of the park? Like most of you are so busy asking, what if I don't get it right? What if I don't succeed? What if I mess it up? What if it sucks? What if I embarrass myself? What if it doesn't sound good? What if I sound bad? Right? No, none of you, I guarantee it, are asking, what if I do succeed? What if I do knock it out of the park? What if I am the exact right person to be on this stage in this opportunity right now? Now there's space for possibility that your body and your energy is going to respond to. And then the next thing that gets out of the way, or that gets in the way of mindful integration, right? So the first thing was learning to ask better questions. The second thing that gets in the way of mindful integration are your excuses. So that's concept number 2 for today. For mindful integration to work, you need to annihilate your excuses. That's concept number 2 for today. Annihilate your excuses. So what are the excuses that keep you playing small? That keep you continually hitting that same ceiling in your career or in your sound? And what are the things that you use to justify your circumstance? Why you are where you are with your singing and with your singing career? We've got to identify them, you guys. We've got to identify them. So here are some of the top excuses that I hear all the time from seasoned professional singers, talented singers, okay? These are the excuses I hear all the time. And if I say one that you recognize that you're kind of engaging with and that you're using as one of your excuses to justify where you are, just put the excuse, put what I said in the chat, okay? So here are the ones that I hear all the time. I'm too old. I'm not thin enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not edgy enough. I'm too edgy. I don't sound like insert the flavor of the month here. I don't sound like Chapel Rowan. I don't sound like Kristen Chenoweth. I don't sound like Alicia Keys, whatever. I don't sound like XYZ. I don't have enough time. My job, my kids, etc. How many of you are that? I just don't have enough time to focus on my music. It's just everything, my kids, my job, right? I don't have enough money for the things that I need to get to the next level. I don't have enough money to make the record or invest in the training or get the whatever it is that you think you need. I don't have enough money, right? Like how many of you have that? How many of you have, I don't have enough money. I can't do it. I just don't have the money to invest in myself, Arden. You can't get blood from a stone, Arden. How can you do that? I don't have the money. How many of you have that? Okay. And I love to bring this up at this point because this to me is a great example of somebody who could have used that excuse and it would have been very real circumstance for her. You guys know Shania Twain's story? Anybody know Shania Twain's story? So Shania Twain, when she was 19, both her parents died in a car crash. And she has two younger siblings. And because she was over 18, she was granted custody of her two younger siblings. Okay. And they were living out of her car. Now, that's real circumstance. And she could have felt very justified in, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, all the things. And yet, she continued to put herself out there, to get into the circles where she could, sing and play and be heard, despite her very real circumstance. Okay, so you guys, it's just an excuse that we use to justify where we are, Shania Twain, it wasn't an excuse. And so it didn't stop her. Okay, and there are so many more excuses that we use. So what are your excuses? This is where we get real. This is where we air all this stuff out. And again, you guys, there's no judgment here. There's no make wrong here. It's just we have to see what is so we can shift it. You cannot change something that you are not aware of. So what is the story that you tell yourself to justify why you are where you are? Put it in the chat. We've got 60 people here in this meeting. I want to see 60 people in the chat. What are your excuses? You guys, this is the safe space. This is where you get to acknowledge these things in a compassionate way. So go ahead, type it in the chat. Out yourself. What are your excuses? Yeah, I see. Time is one excuse. Old is one excuse. Fear is an excuse. My sound is not an excuse. Not fit enough. Not enough money. Yes. Confidence in my range. Too old. Yes. Life and money and parenthood. Allergies. Health. Fear. Technology challenges. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Physical health. Limited energy. Severe financial circumstances. Yes. And you guys, I want you to know that there is a difference between circumstance and an excuse, right? There's always circumstance, but those who let their circumstance define them will stay where they are. And those who just see it as a challenge that they can move through will succeed. Then it's no longer an excuse. Because when we use it as an excuse, now it justifies us staying put. And then we don't act on our own behalf in ways that would otherwise get us where we want to go. And so for mindful integration to work, you guys, we have to allow ourselves to truly see what is, to allow ourselves to see, like I was saying, with compassion, the ways that we are holding ourselves and our potential and therefore our impact back. So when you look at your excuses, and again, it's like not to shame and blame yourself, but just to look, okay, I've been doing that. Like, I'm too old. A lot of you had that one in the chat. That could have also been a really big one for Amy, who's one of our awesome grads who you're going to hear from today, right? Amy, I'm too old. That could have been a big one for Amy. There is zero way that she would have gone from a corporate job to making a full-time living as a singer the way that she is right now if she did not have a really powerful reframe for I'm too old. Because otherwise, at her age, that excuse could have stopped her completely and she would have felt completely justified, by the way, and she would have missed out on everything that she's doing now. So we need to reframe our excuses. And the way we do that is by choosing more powerful beliefs. So that is concept number 3 for today. You get to choose your global beliefs. Choose your beliefs. So in my 20 some odd years of saving singers' voices and careers, I have found that there are really 4 global beliefs that every singer must own. Just 4. You can have more than that, but you need these four, okay? You must own in order to access 100% of your potential, be bulletproof on that stage, stand out from the competition, and withstand the inevitable ups and downs of this creative journey that's part of it, so that you don't give up before you succeed. So the first global belief that every singer must own to succeed is singing is what I do, it is not who I am. Singing is what I do, it is not who I am. We have to detach our worth from our voice and our singing, okay? Because I need to be enough, regardless of if I'm singing or not singing, whether I'm singing well or not singing well, because if I am not, then you remember day one? Then I have something to prove. And my body is going to react to that. And I am going to go into all of the make, force, do, push, manipulate, control to prove that I am good enough and that I can be there so that I don't feel like a failure. And then that will sabotage my body and my sound, and I will not be effective in making an impact. So singing cannot be who you are. You are, period. That is a full sentence. I am, noun, verb, period. Right? Singing is something you do. You have worth and value regardless of whether you are singing or not singing. Singing well, not singing well, making money at it, doing whatever it is. Okay? Detach your worth from your voice. Second global belief, there is no failure, only opportunity. There is no failure, only opportunity. Guys, if I'm not failing, I'm not learning. And if I'm not learning, how am I going to succeed? You guys, we have to reframe failure. Most of you end up completely sabotaging your sound because you're so afraid of failing that either you hold back or you push and you miss the trust in the sweet spot of what your instrument was meant and built to do. Okay, so you guys know this. I like to tell this story. Thomas Edison was interviewed. You know, Thomas Edison, who invented the light bulb, right? Thomas Edison was interviewed, and the journalist said something to him like, wow, I heard that you made like 99 prototypes of the light bulb before you found the one that worked. How did you withstand all that failure? And Edison said something like, that wasn't 99 failures. That was 99 ways I learned not to build a light bulb. Okay? That's a powerful reframe for failure. Because if each time he built another prototype, if each time you go into your practice and it doesn't work out the way you want, if you see that as a failure instead of a gift in getting data and learning, so that the next time you go into your practice or the next light bulb he builds, he now gets to build a better light bulb and he gets closer and closer to the dream. Same with you, okay? 99 ways to not build a light bulb. If you're too afraid to fail, you guys, you will always play it safe in your body, in your mind. And that is not how you get a performance that blows us away. Everything you want is just on the other side of your comfort zone. So welcome failure. You know, when kids are learning to walk, babies, right? Like, it's like a couple steps and then fall down. Like another step and then like fall down, right? That kid is not going, shit, I'm never going to walk again. I'm an absolute failure of a person. Why would they even think that I could do this? I'm going to be crawling for the rest of my life. And yet, that's how most of you approach weathering new things, up-leveling, and moving through challenges in your singing, in your voice, and in your singing career. Okay? Because it makes you feel like a failure because you've attached your worth to it, and so you can't fail, and so you don't let yourself go beyond your comfort zone, and so you never learn. You never get the data that will take you to the next level. So your challenges, the things that you perceive of as failures, that resistance, you know what that really is? It's not a failure. And that's life tapping you on the shoulder and saying, hey, I know you want to get out of the ensemble and book that equity lead role. I know that you want to be able to fix this and that with your singing so you can go out there and trust your voice and land big opportunities, but you got to fix this. You got to fix this thing. That's life tapping you on the shoulder and being like, this challenge, you got to fix this thing first for that to happen. So the faster you fail, the faster you get data, and the faster you can fix that thing and then move forward, the better. So it becomes like gratitude for your challenges, because that's the universe showing you exactly what you get to do to up level to have what you want. So if finances are a challenge, that is the universe tapping you on the shoulder and saying, guess what, girl? You get to be resourceful and build that muscle of resourcefulness and move through that challenge so you get to have what you want. If going into auditions and choking on the high note is the thing, that's the universe going, hey, you got all this other thing going for you here. I'm going to keep putting these high note challenges in front of you until you see this as the gift that it is, which is God in the universe just walking you towards the thing that's going to take you where you want to go. So take those inspired risks and go for it. Because guess what? You're going to be uncomfortable either way. Either you're going to be uncomfortable staying small and staying stuck, or you're going to be uncomfortable taking risks and failing forward. So if you're going to be uncomfortable either way, then you might as well be uncomfortable getting what you want, right? So there is no failure, only opportunity. Now, the third global belief is we go to the data, not the drama. Go to the data, not the drama. So when you're presented with a challenge, even if it's a little challenge of like learning the new coordination of the breath support that we were doing on Tuesday, the mind wants to create drama, and that takes up space. That takes up energetic space, and your body contracts too. So you must learn to see what is without assigning meaning to it. That's drama. Okay, so you botched the audition? That's data. Look at the data. What just dispassionately, right? Like what happened? What happened? Well, I was rushing and I didn't really have time to warm up as much as I, probably should. And I got there and I'm sitting in the hall and I'm like listening to everybody else in the audition going before me, and they all sound really good. And so now I'm like going into my drama of like, I'm not good enough. And then I get up there and like, I have a hard time catching my breath. And so I take the tempo too fast because I'm worried about my breath, and like, just look at the data without making meaning out of it, without going to the drama of it, right? And just see, okay, this is what I do. I don't give myself enough time. I don't have a pre-audition ritual that keeps me in my what we'll call sphere of tranquility. I'm too much outwardly focused, listening and judging to everyone else. And then I'm nervous because I don't have a ritual. Okay, well, maybe I need a ritual. Maybe I need to work some mindset tools and have a prescribed thing that I do when I'm sitting in the audition so I don't get into that headspace, right? Like the data is telling you guys what you get to work on and to up level. But most of the time, instead of looking at the data, we go to the drama and we make that botched audition mean something intrinsic about ourselves. You make it mean something about your worth, your ability, your future, and that shuts you down. And then you're not empowered at all to take the next indicated step that will get you closer to the path on your target because you're addressing the data. You're too much in the spin of the drama, okay? So it's learning to go to the data, not the drama. And then the last global belief that every singer must own is I get to take up time and space. I get to take up time and space. So many of you get up there and you're like in this energy of apologizing for being alive before you've even like made a sound. And that affects, remember, the energy affects what happens, right? Like before I get on stage, I have cultivated this belief so hardcore that I'm like, this is my house. This is my stage. This is my time. And I get up there, and if I'm in an audition, I take that magic minute. And if you're the auditioner, you will wait for me to take that magic minute because that is me linking mind and body, reminding myself that for this 5 minutes of my audition, I get to take up time and space. This is my house. This is my stage. For the rest of the day, it can be somebody else's. But I am worth taking up time and space. And there is something about me that nobody else has. And that is true for you too. The world has a Beyonce. The world has a Pavarotti. They have a fill in the blank, right? What they don't have is you. So this is your house. When you got on that stage, this is your stage. You get to take up time and space. So these global beliefs create energetic space where mind and body can integrate to work together for everything that you want to create, both on stage and off, because you have empowered your awareness now to run the show instead of the inner critic, crazy ego monkey mind that's just terrified of failing, that doesn't think you're worth it, that's constantly judging, constantly going to the spin of the drama, instead of your awareness, which is the energy behind that. Like you have a thought, but you are not your thoughts. So have you ever stopped to wonder, well, who notices the thought? That's your awareness. And your awareness knows because it's connected to the higher energy, to the higher self, to if you're somebody who's spiritual, to God, to the universe, whatever you believe in, the energy that created you, that came in when you were born and goes away when you die. Your awareness knows that. And so these global beliefs empower your awareness to run the show. And when your awareness is running the show, your body is now able to do what it was meant to do because your body is no longer responding to all the crap in your spinning ego monkey mind of the inner critic. Okay. And so we're going to use some of these global beliefs right now in some live coaching. And so first, I would love to know, like, if you did last night's homework, okay? So if you did the understanding why you sing the way you do, please do not volunteer if you haven't done the thought exercise, because those who did it have a much deeper awareness of what's going on with them. And we can tap into some global beliefs a little more readily, okay? So if you did last night's thought exercise, for those of you who did it, who would like to volunteer with a verse or two of a song that they would like to work on cultivating these global beliefs? So go ahead and raise your hand in the chat. All right, Jacqueline, I saw your hand go up first.
Hi.
Hello, nice to see you.
You too.
Okay, so first let me ask you, well, no, I want to do this a little differently. So let's just sing a section from the song. So you have a song that you want to work on?
Yeah, I've been working on Summertime.
Okay, great. Are you able to put the device where I can see a little bit more of you?
Yeah, let's see.
And it doesn't have to, I don't need to see your whole body, but just a little bit more of your torso. Perfect. That's so great. Okay. So let's just do a selection. Maybe we'll just do, first verse from Summertime. Okay. And then we'll work it.
Summertime. Sorry, I have some phlegm. Okay. So, it's caught there. Okay.
Do a big old siren. Sa into your upper. Find your lower sense of energy, Jacqueline. And I want you to siren down into your feet as you siren up. Sa. Okay, so right now, you guys, right now, Jacqueline's hand is telling me the direction that her energy is going. Her hand has a mind of its own, and it's telling me that her energy is going up to go up instead of Jacqueline opposing and rooting down to go up. So I want you to take your hand
Okay.
and I want you to put it here and like right at your collarbones, okay? And I want you to use your hand to tell the energy of your body and your physiology which way to go as you siren. And your hand is going to direct the energy. So, and have your energy of your support following your hand. Okay, try it.
So,
Right. So the thing is, the phlegm's not the problem. Okay. The same phlegm that was there a minute ago was still there. You didn't drink any water. You didn't do anything else, right? But you
right.
guys, when your support is not engaged correctly,
Yeah.
whatever muckety muck might be on your cords, when you start pushing up to go up, it pushes too much air, which then jostles the phlegm that's on your cords, which then makes you feel like, oh my God, I got it. Okay. And then we go, and we whack the chords together. You guys, clearing your throat is really bad for your vocal cords because every time you do it, it whacks them together. And so now your cords are going to be like, if you do it too much, a little bit irritated. Okay. So you guys, when you have that sensation, remember how I told you support takes care of 99% of all the problems, right? We think, oh my God, it's allergies or it's phlegm or I didn't drink enough water. No, most of the time you can sing through a normal amount of phlegm and it not aggravate anything if you're not flooding with too much air. So I'm so glad that that happened. I mean, I know it probably wasn't comfortable for you, but I'm sure that a lot of you have dealt with that. So, okay, good. So now you found the lower sensation. You're going to use your hand, summertime, or whatever key. You can tune it in whatever key you want. Okay.
Summertime, I'm living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich, and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry.
Okay, good. Now, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
What would you say is one big thing that you discovered in last night's homework about why you sing the way that you do?
Um, so can you clarify that a little more?
Well, so when you did the thought exercise and you took yourself through the questions to
Yeah.
get a deeper understanding, what were some of the things that came up as to why you sing the way that you do?
So I'm not clear if and I did the exercises. I did
Okay, so let me simplify the
yeah,
question.
yeah.
What was the biggest thing that you discovered in doing the thought exercise last night?
So where the tension is in my body, a lot of tension in my jaw. I get that, and I started to get it towards the end, and that's why I lost it. It's like a butterfly sensation in my stomach.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, and it normally happens because something happened when I was very young. It normally happens when I'm doing good. And
Mm,
then people, I can almost hear them saying, "Oh my God, that's so good." I could look at your eyes. Oh, that's good. And then I crack under
okay.
and I literally crack.
Right.
I lose the melody. I lose control. And I'm aware of it happening as it happening in my body. It's like,
Mhm.
what's going on here? I
Mhm.
know this stuff.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
my body won't do what I needed or wanted to do.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay. So you have answered the question why I sing the way that I do. So
yeah,
the way you sing right now is inconsistent. It's untrustworthy.
very much so.
Right. And why is because when that experience that you had when you were younger that taught you that if something is really good, it can't last. The other shoe's going to drop. So I need to worry. Is that
Yeah, so very quickly, what happened is there was a big concert that we were doing at the music center, and we were one of the choirs that were picked for that. And so they sent this, big maestro to work with us. And I'm learning the song and singing with everybody. And he stops and he said, "You all did it wrong except for her." He pointed to me and said, "Now show them how it's done." And I choked. And so I've been
right?
reliving that ever
Right.
since.
So, like, you were held up at this example. Everything is going well. And then when you need to recreate it, the other shoe drops and you can't.
Right, exactly.
Right. Right. And so, what, if you had to say, what belief did that create in your mind?
What, say that word again? What?
What belief did that create in your mind? What story has your mind been telling you about being successful, being an example, being good?
I can't sustain it.
Right. So even though Jacqueline knows that this belief sucks and she doesn't want it, this is the train that's been driving, this is the bus that's been driving the mind for a long time, which is that even if I succeed, I will never be able to sustain it. And
Hmm.
so the minute stuff starts, and so then as that belief, as she's held that belief for a long time, now her body starts to create it because she starts to expect it. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. And it, well, obviously it's gotten in my way in a lot of areas of my life. The belief that, what's the point of, even if I do and I've done really great performances that are memorable, but I wouldn't be able, that's one song. I couldn't
Right.
do like a whole act because I can't sustain it.
Right, because something will happen and the other shoe will drop and I'll, make a fool out of myself. So
And I
why?
get torn up. It tears me up inside. The
Right.
emotional toll it takes on my physical being is, I'm experienced I just experienced that recently, and I collapsed in like utter pain.
Right. And so these little things, you guys, they're like little traumas, or sometimes they're big traumas, right? But they live in the body, and the body has a long memory for stuff like that. And so when things are going well, it's just the expectation, like, well, this can't possibly sustain. And then you start to worry, and then the body starts to contract, and then you actually create the interruption of whatever the good thing is that otherwise would have just been fine, right?
Yeah, and then there's the other component where I feed into it and I start saying I'm not good enough. I compare myself to other people who are really good, and they're like looking at me, "What are you talking about?" And then they get frustrated, and then they don't want to work with me, and it becomes this whole,
Right.
yeah.
And so then you stop at, and then you probably stop putting yourself out there for the kinds of opportunities that you want. Has that started to happen?
Um, yes and no. It almost feels like I'm a masochist because every time I put myself out there, this happens, and it's very painful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I do the work, I work with the technique. I practice, and it doesn't ever seem to be enough, and I don't seem to get anywhere.
Right. But you guys, this is the problem with traditional training. And I'm so glad that you're here, Jacqueline. Okay. Because like this is the problem with traditional training, which is that it's not that she doesn't understand the technique. Like when I had her focus on technique and move her body down, like her body did it. Jacqueline, your body did it. It's not that your body can't do it. And it's not that you don't understand it. Right. But it's that the mind body connection is broken. The mind is doing one thing that's causing the body to do another thing because there's no awareness that's integrating it for something that helps you to feel safe and confident. Okay. The mind is creating circumstance that makes you feel insecure and unworthy
Yeah.
and unsafe. Okay. So I have a bunch of what I call energy exploration cards. Okay. And what an energy exploration card is it's got a little belief on it. There's a whole bunch of them, and they all have a little belief on it. So I'm going to pick a new belief for you because the old belief is this I can't sustain this. I'm gonna mess it up. I've always messed it up. When something good happens, it can't keep going. Okay. That's the old belief. And for all the reasons it's not serving you, we just identified. So let me look at my energy exploration cards. Pick a good one for you. Okay. I think I have one. Let me just look through, make sure that's the one. Okay. So can I ask you a question that might seem unrelated, but maybe not?
Yeah.
Do you identify with, because to me, I see a thread here, but we'll see. Do you identify with perfectionism?
Not really, because
Okay.
actually and I've done a lot of this work, and I think that's one of the things that attracted me to you because I get the mindset component. Um, my thing is I'm never all in. There's 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Well, right. Why would you be all in? Because if you were all in, it's not going to work out. So why should you be all in?
Yeah, would you call that perfectionism? Because I've never thought
No,
of myself as
no.
that.
I
But
was just wondering if this belief that like it's never going to work out has caused you to become a perfectionist as like, well, maybe if I'm perfect, I can do it. I was wondering if you had
no,
gone to.
it's probably the opposite. I just skate by on life. Luckily, I have some gifts that get me through, but yeah.
Mhm. Okay. So that, what if you, what if you owned your greatness? So this,
Oh, that's a big one.
uh-huh.
Yeah,
So
I,
I
yeah,
know.
I had a visceral reaction to that.
I bet you do. So this is the new belief that Jacqueline is going to play with right now, which is I get to own my greatness. I get to notice my language. I'm not saying I can because then the inner critic mind is going to go, well, can you? I don't think you can. You're not really good at that, versus I get to own my greatness. So, Jacqueline, can you tell me like 2 or 3 things, just a few things that like you know about yourself? Like, so for me, I would say, I am a badass mother. I am a fantastic mother. I show up for my daughter. I know that, like I know that. I can take anyone and make them a better singer than they were 5 minutes ago. I know that, like I know that, right? So tell me a few things about you that you just like know, like you know.
I'm incredibly funny. I can make anybody laugh at any time.
Okay.
And I am the fun.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I'm in a room, you can guarantee there will be a lot of fun happening.
Good.
Um, I have a great energy, when I show up, I'm there. My energy really shines and it lifts people up.
Great. Did you guys see how she stepped into that as she was saying it? Like when I'm in a room, I show up and people know that I'm there. Like that's your greatness.
Okay.
That's you. That's the energy of you. Like there's no second guessing there. Like you know what I'm saying? So let's start with what you know that you know. You are fun. You bring your energy. You are a force in a room. Okay. I get to own my greatness. So, how would you sing this song if you were owning your greatness? Can you do that experiment for a second?
Okay. I get to own my greatness. Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry.
Okay. What was that like for you?
It felt good.
Mhm.
Good.
Did you have any moments where your monkey mind came in and was like, uh-oh, you can't keep doing this. It's not going to work.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, tell me when. When did that happen? Are you present to when that happened?
um, yeah, there were because I'm in my mind about hitting the notes, like that
Which
fourth
ones, though?
intro.
Which ones? Like, are there
Um,
specific ones that make you feel insecure?
hitting the fourth, good looking, and there's that, and then there's
The descent, the low one,
yeah,
good
oh,
looking.
yeah, there's the
Okay,
first one I
okay,
felt I was comfortable in, and then I started to get in my head because I did it right, and then
okay,
oh, I'm gonna screw it up the next time, and
okay. But so here's the
and
thing.
I lost some of my power. Yeah.
Yeah, but in those moments, here's the thing, okay? Which is that if your greatness is connected to how you sound and your voice and the performance that you give, then it's going to make you insecure at doing the things that might feel a little bit beyond the comfort zone in your technique right now. Okay.
Hmm.
So if you get to own your greatness, and if your greatness is not attached, because remember, the things that you told me were your greatness, they weren't attached to your singing. They're who you are. This is about when I get into a room, I own the room. Oh, really? But guess who stopped owning the room when she went down a pitch? Right? So how would you explore? Let's do that experiment. I just want you to play a little bit right now, okay? Let's explore how you would do and your mind is good looking. If you own the room and it had nothing to do with what happens with that pitch, you have full permission to mess that pitch up because your greatness is not attached to what happens with it. So if you're owning the room, how do you do that phrase?
You want me to do it now?
Yeah, just play with it. Experiment. How would that be? I don't know. You try.
And your mama's good looking.
Okay. Rest my case, which is that like you guys, I could have gone to technique with her. I could have gotten the same outcome going the technique route. But the problem is not the technique. There are things that now the breath stuff that you were saying I was running out of breath, that is technique, but it's the technique being sabotaged by you not owning the room. You're not owning your greatness. You're not trusting that in that moment you get to take up time and space and nobody can take that away from you because it's your room. It's your stage. When you owned the room, your body just did what it was built to do, the technique that you know was there for you. It didn't get sabotaged. So this is not a process of you needing to become something, become better at technique, become a better singer, become, fixing the problem. So I have a hair on my lipstick. This is not a process of that. This is actually a process of you. You already are great, Jacqueline. It's a process of you standing in that and believing that. So, in shifting that one little belief, now you weren't worried about is the other shoe going to drop? Am I going to mess up this good thing that sounded so good a minute ago? Because your greatness is not attached to it because we shifted the belief. Does that
So,
make sense?
yeah, can I ask you something in regards to that?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
when I perform and I'm on stage, I do own the stage. I own the performance, no matter what it sounds like. It doesn't it's ironic because it doesn't always sound good, but yet the performance is there. So I own that, but then things happen in my body with the singing. So I do attach it to my singing, and I think that's the problem.
Yes. And it's like right now, there's like two separate silos. Okay.
Okay.
You shared with me that you've worked a lot on the technique and you've had a lot of training, and that's like in one silo over here. And
Okay.
then you shared with me that you've done a lot of work on mindset and psychology and everything. And that's like in another silo over here, 5,000 miles away from the expert technique that you know. and there's no bridge.
Uh,
Okay.
got
If
it.
nobody is showing you how that stuff is showing up or not showing up in the moment of singing, which is why you get it when you're not singing. And in other, aspects, you have so much awareness that has probably served you to shift other parts of your world. But the same problems keep showing up in the moment of singing because nobody is showing you how all of that is coming into your body and coming into your mind in that moment. And that's why you were able to get such a fast difference in your technique right now because I created that bridge for you.
Oh, I see that. The last performance I had 15 minutes before I sang my solo, I sounded great.
Mm-hmm.
I go on. The performance, I own the stage. I do what I do, but the vocals were weak. There was things with the mic and I
And
lost.
here's why. Because remember, we were talking about mind making meaning out of your circumstance.
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys, your mind is a meaning making machine. That's its job, is to look at your environment, look at your circumstance, make meaning out of it to keep you safe so that you don't get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. Okay. But we're not cavemen anymore. And we're not worrying about our day-to-day survival anymore. And so, but yet our mind was it has evolved over millions of years to do that. And so what we do is we make everything in our circumstance mean something that like puts us in our fight or flight. So like before, when you're in rehearsal or backstage running it before the show, your mind feels good. That's a circumstance that allows you to feel safe and to feel like you can bridge that gap between mindset and skill set. And so there's nothing in the circumstance or in the moment that derails it. But the minute you get on stage, your mind goes into that old, oh my God, this is not going to sustain. I'm going to do great and I'm going to lose it and I'm going to embarrass myself because now the stakes are higher and it makes a different meaning out of that. And now there's no bridge
Mm.
because that there's a different belief and a different meaning being given to that circumstance. And so your body reacts to it. And then all the technique that you otherwise had when your mind was making a different meaning goes out the window. And then you don't get the same feeling or the same sound. And it's frustrating, right?
Very frustrating. Like I said, I'm aware in my head that I'm like watch. It's like a out of body experience. I'm literally watching it happen.
Right. Yeah, of course. And so this kind of work would be like, I mean, in 5 minutes, we were able to shift it. You know what I'm saying? So imagine what I could do with you if I got my hands on you for a long for a long period of time. But you guys please give Jacqueline an applause for being such a fantastic guinea pig and working
Great.
with the energy and working with the sound and the energy and how it all comes together. Okay. So I'm giving you these energy exploration cards tonight to use. Okay. They're in day 4 in your Masterclass series workbook. Download, follow the instructions into how to use them. Okay. All right. So I have invited a very special singer to come share some stuff with you today because she really knows what it's like to be in exactly what Jacqueline was just talking about, playing small and holding herself back in her voice and in her singing journey because of so much stuff that was going on in her head, keeping her small. And it was also giving her tons of tension going on in her voice because all of that circumstance that was going on in her head and the meaning that she was making out of things going on in her head, her body was literally bracing itself against that failure that it was so terrified of and causing so much holding and tension in her jaw and in her tongue. And so she has a ton of experience and gold to share about what has allowed her to have amazing breakthroughs to free her voice and her mindset and claim what's possible. And so she's one of my very favorite people on the planet. She is a grad of our intensive training program who not that long ago was like exactly where you are, struggling with so many of these same issues that we've been coaching on the last few days. And within 6 months of working in the intensive program, she went from a corporate job to making a full-time income with her singing. And she's about to make her debut in a leading role in a brand new musical off Broadway in New York City this fall. She's also a Christian recording artist who she just attended the Christian Music Awards a few weeks ago in Nashville. She is a mom and a grandma. So if you don't think your goals are possible and you have the age excuse, just listen to her. Some of you may know her as your amazing workshop concierge because our community means so much to her that this is how she gives back. So I've invited her to share her experience with you, the things that have moved the needle for her the most in her skill set, in her mindset, in hopes that you will gain some nugget of gold that you can use to really shift the outcomes of your singing journey, just like she's done in hers. So please welcome Amy DeLuca. Amy, welcome.
Hi,
Hello. It's good to see you.
good to see you. Hi, everybody.
So for those of you who have had conversations with Amy, but you haven't seen Amy, this is Amy. um, okay, well, let's start by sharing, if you would, just start by sharing with everybody what was going on with your voice, what was going on with your singing before training with us, and like how were you feeling about all of it?
Well, I was feeling a lot of things. And I was at a point in my life where I was having maybe a show at best, maybe once every other month. Um, I was unemployed, collecting unemployment at the time. And I really thought my singing and performing and writing, like all those dreams were gone, or they were slowly slipping away. And I was really feeling a lot of depression. And technically, I suffered from a lot of tension, as Arden was saying, inconsistency. I could nail a song one gig, and then I'd sing that same song, and I would be pushing and forcing and straining, and I could not understand what was different. How can I replicate the effortlessness that I had that last time I sang the song? Um, and as far as my mindset, oh gosh, whew, that was a doozy. And I knew that there was something missing. And I've had training, some from some very reputable teachers, but there was always something, a component missing. And I described meeting Arden like, I mean, obviously it was totally a God thing, but it was also like I look at it like not Arden, but I look at the situation, my singing as like Swiss cheese, like how Swiss cheese has holes in it. Well, Arden filled in all those holes and then some. And the mindset was actually really crippling me. And I would actually have dread before all of my performances, no matter how small, and I would feel tortured and I would feel and which would just increase my tension and this feeling of like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Oh, do I really have to do this? But I love it, but I don't want to do it. Am I going to mess up? Oh, the whole perfectionism thing. So I have this battle. My inner critic is just beating the crap out of me. But meanwhile, there's this singing is what I was born to do and it's my love, but there was this constant battle that I just could not win.
And so how was that affecting you, if I can ask, if you don't mind sharing, if you remember back?
Oh, well, in my personal life, it was wreaking havoc on my marriage, on, every aspect of my life. It created a ripple effect. And I I was just having a thought about, being just going back, like when you were talking about, being a mom, just kind of segueing for a second, like I was a young mom and I had to put my career aside for many years. And I feel like I've been trying to play catch up also. So I understand like all the mothers out there and even the grandmothers out there, it's never too late because I've used age and that was a thing, I was feeling oh, I'm too old. Who's going to want me? I'm not a spring chicken anymore, you know? And just all of these really self-deprecating, self-defeating, self-loathing thoughts that were just crippling me. Like I felt like I was in this mental prison with no escape. Well, thank you, Pamela. You're all very sweet. Thank you. Um, but since working with Arden, I kind of do feel like a spring chicken. So, age really is just a number.
True.
But
But
to
being in
answer your
that
question, Arden, I kind of went off on a tangent.
okay, okay. So being in that place, and I remember, having that conversation with you, that first call where we talked,
Mm,
and you were like, talk about going beyond the comfort zone, right? Like, remember in earlier in our training today, you were talking about everything you want is just on the other side of your comfort zone. And
yeah.
so if you don't mind sharing, like, what were the ways in which you were holding yourself back because you were scared of doing that? And then if you don't mind talking about that first call that we had, because that was your first step beyond the comfort zone. Like,
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, absolutely. That call, my initial call with Arden was a total game changer. I was literally like on the precipice of either continuing to do what I've been doing, which was not working, which there was no hope. I felt like my dream to sing and perform was literally going away. Or I completely take a leap of faith and I'm on the call with her. I'm sobbing because I know that I'm like, I have to do this. And my marriage was not going well. I was unemployed. We were financially in not a good place. And I knew that if I hung up the phone with Arden, there would be no way that I would have gone through with taking that leap. And I know my husband would have talked me out of it. And I was terrified. And I'm like, I got to do this now. And I'm literally texting my husband when I'm getting ready to invest in this in myself, not knowing how I'm going to do it. But I became resourceful real quick, and I did it right then and there. And I knew for me, for anyone, for all of you out there who believe in God's spirit, the great I am, whatever you want to call, you know, the universe, it's God, or JC is my dude. I'm like, okay, I'm doing my part, you do the rest. I'm taking the sleep. I don't know how I'm going to do this as far as paying it back, but I'm trusting you. And as soon as I made that decision, it was literally like the dam broke open and all of this energy started to flow again and opportunities start to happen and things in my life started to change and all this stuff opened up and all this energy that was so stuck for years. I felt like, oh my gosh, it's finally moving again. There's hope. There's there's a plan. There's someone that's going to help me make this dream finally come true and help me identify all the blind spots that I've had for so long that I either didn't know I had or didn't want to look at. So it was literally a complete life changer for me.
well, and I remember you shared with me and you were like, okay, so I got let go from my corporate job and I have severance for like another month. And
Yeah.
either I'm going to have to tuck tail and go back to my corporate job, or I'm going to give this everything I've got and I'm going to be a professional singer. I'm going to do it full time and I'm going to never go back to the corporate world.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think happened? Well, you can tell them what happened.
Okay. Well, yes, I am. For the first time in my life, I am singing full time professionally and performing, and I am grateful. It doesn't even come close to describing it. Blessed beyond measure. And it was not easy because I had so many roadblocks, like so many mental blocks that I had to work through with Arden in her intensive program, and also, our mindset coach that you'll get to meet at some point. this workshop tomorrow, Judy. And I knew like I hit a wall and I'm like, the fear was crippling me. I'm like, Arden, I need an inferno lit under my rear. And she did. And I started booking, my first year, I booked over 100 gigs. And that was
Guys,
within
paid gigs,
paid.
not like for $50, okay? Like,
Yes, I'm talking, and for an hour, $300 to $400 for 1 hour. And that was another thing I had to work through also with Arden and Judy is my worth, because my mind was saying, how dare you ask for that price? Who do you think you are? But then I'm like, whoa, hold on. Who am I not to ask for that?
did you guys hear what she just did? Did you guys hear that? So she had a very disempowering thought. Very, like, remember we talked about ask more powerful questions, right? So the initial question was, who am I to ask for that? Who would ever pay me that? And she's learned how to flip that. Who am I not to ask for that? But that's not, an easy reframe. You have to learn how to condition these things, you know? And so I'm curious if there are any other of the excuses and the old stinking thinking beliefs that you remember and how you reframed them, because I'm sure others in this group right now will have the old stinking thinking beliefs, and it'd be really powerful to hear your reframe for that, for those, how we've worked on that.
Yes. So a lot of my reframes had to be around my worth, and as far as well, who do you think you are? Well, to think that you can do this or do that. And then I have to say, well, or how dare you shine your light? How dare you shine your light? And I'm like, how dare I not? God gave me this light to shine as bright as I can, you know? So, and also just stepping into my power, like I'm a badass rock star and I nail every performance and rock every stage I step on every time, and I have a ritual that I do before every performance. It doesn't matter how big or small. And where I close my eyes and I take some deep breaths and I vision this beautiful golden white, I call it the Christ light. It's this beautiful golden white light that goes into my crown chakra, and it goes into every single cell of my body, all the way down into my feet, into the floor. And that's where I feel grounded and connected. Like I'm in my badass form here. God's got me after you. And then I go and I allow God to work through me.
Right. And so like we helped Amy to identify these things that work for her, right? For you, it might be something else. It might not be your connection to God. It might be something else. You don't have to be religious or spiritual. You know what I'm saying? But like it's Amy now has the thing that connects her to her worth. And like, I was putting in the chat, so Amy, I'm sure you have something to say to Pamela. My market only pays a ceiling of 200. If you're not going to do it for 200, then they won't hire you. I'm sure you have stuff like that too.
I have. And I've had to get creative.
Right.
And there's been, and since, in the beginning, I would say, I would be happy to do the first performance at your rate. And then once you see what I have to offer going forward, it's going to be at my rate. Right. And I get it in writing. And every time they love me and they give it to me at my rate.
Right. Because she has a belief around her worth. And that's helping her then when she gets on stage. Okay, so let's talk about that for a second, right? Because there was so much tension and strain. It was, my belt was really hard. Moving into head voice was really hard because of the tension. So I would love if you could speak to how all of this mindset work, all of the global belief work, the worth work, what were the biggest changes that you noticed in your voice? And when you would get on stage, what would happen?
It was magic. It was effortless. It felt like everything was open and relaxed. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is what it's supposed to feel like. And it didn't feel like it was work. It didn't feel like it was hard. I didn't feel exhausted and fatigued. It felt easy, effortless, joyful. And I felt the energy moving. And I had my friends who have seen me sing and like for over 25 years say to me, Amy, just when I thought you couldn't get any better, I'm absolutely blown away. And I'm like, really? Oh, thank you, Arden. It's working, and to get that feedback and thanking myself for doing the work, not giving up on myself because I wanted to. It's such a wonderful, empowering freedom to be able to trust my body to do what it's meant to do. And that is really the underlying is the trust in my body.
Mhm. And so I'm curious because, I think I see all of the, everyone resonating with what you're saying in the chat, right? And I'm sure there are a lot of people here watching and listening to you who are like, I want that. I want that. I want to have what Amy has. I want to be able to do what Amy does. I don't want my day job anymore. I want to be able to find the joy. I want to be able to charge what I want to charge and stand behind it and not get scared and all the things. And yet, I'm sure of a lot of you guys who are feeling this way and resonating, there's also probably those of you who are like scared at what it would take. Maybe it's not going to work for me. Okay, well, maybe it worked for Amy, but maybe it won't work for me. Like maybe like my husband won't be cool with it. And maybe I can't like, go beyond my comfort zone. Maybe I'm not going to be able to get resourceful. So like for the investment, right? So what were your biggest hesitations? Because you said it was like, I knew if I got off the phone, I wouldn't do it. So what were those hesitations? And what would you say to somebody who has those kinds of hesitations?
Well, my biggest hesitation was my husband. How is he going to react? Um, and also the money. How was I going to pay this investment back? How was I going to do that? And for the first time at that point in my life, I chose me. I was so busy taking care of everyone else, worrying about what everyone else needed and wanted except for myself. And that included putting my career on hold for years and years and years, not making it a priority because, oh, it might ruffle feathers. Oh, what this one might think. Oh, but what if I fail? What if I can't, what if I'm not going to make the money that I make? And all this what if, fear, and roadblocks that I put, and these beliefs that I believe to be true. And when I made the decision, it was a decision. No matter what I was feeling, I knew I was going to be terrified. But I would rather be terrified doing what I am meant to do than continuing to live in fear and stay locked in this safe box that I put myself in, having nothing of a career ever to speak of. And then not to mention the regret looking back, like, oh my gosh, what if I hadn't, what if I didn't take the intensive program at Arden, where would I be? Like, where would I be? I know I wouldn't be where I am now. I don't even want to know because the thought honestly makes me feel sick to my stomach because I was in such a terrible, sad, depressed, just like dark, the dark night of the soul. Like that's where I was.
Well, because you weren't doing what you were put on this planet to do.
Exactly.
And just kind of sitting down on the gifts that you have.
Yes.
And so what are you celebrating? I know you've got this show coming up in the fall on in New York off Broadway and
Yes.
recording. And
Well, what's really interesting too about the mindset and being authentic, like learning to really be authentic and true to myself. And I want to say about that off Broadway show, I decided to step away
You did. I didn't know that.
because I started to see things that did not resonate with me, that were not in integrity with where I resonate. And I was heartbroken. But I knew I needed to step away. And the old me would have been like, oh, just do it anyway because blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, this is not, this is not resonating with me. This does not feel good. This does not feel right. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to make room for things that do.
Yes.
And I did mention this, I think in a pre last workshop where I co-wrote my first comedy musical murder mystery. That's actually going to be in October, and I'm
Mhm.
starring in it.
Of
And I
course.
already have a show booked. What's that?
So of course you're starting
Yes,
it.
yeah, yes. And and also, I'm a Christian solo artist, and I am also going to be. There's something in the works now. I'm working with a gentleman who is has many Christian albums out. He's also created a huge band, and I'm going to be the female singer of this band, and he is on like over 170 radio stations. So there's this stuff that's that's unfolding, and I'm very grateful that I'm so grateful, and I'm so blessed and open to receiving whatever blessings that the universe has for me.
Great. Well, because you're not playing small anymore. When you step into like what I was coaching Jacqueline about, when you step into what is my greatness? What do I have to offer? Then when you come to a crossroads, like, you thought this summer was going to be all about rehearsing that show and getting
Yeah,
that wall. And then it's like, okay, but wait, I can move in a different direction because I know what my greatness is. And I know what my worth is. And
yeah,
so I can let something go instead of holding on to it out of fear. And then that takes me down a path that isn't actually most aligned for me. It is going to keep me small, right?
yes,
So going back to global beliefs, you guys, this work, when to speak to also just all the work that you needed to get out of all that tension. Everything she's talking about is playing in her mindset when she does her vocal exercises, when she gets on stage, and is creating circumstance in her body that allows her to trust, like what she was saying, so she doesn't have to force and prove anymore and that's where all the tension was coming from. So that when we work the technique now, it's coming from a place of efficiency and what her body was built to do instead of all of that stuff that was keeping her in all of that over control and overholding. So I don't know. Is there anything else that you want to add? I know we talk all the time, so I feel like you and I have conversations, but anything else that you want to share with everybody before we move on?
I feel like I want to say I I get the fear, I get the terror, I get the unknowns, I get the uncertainty, and I would love for you all to look back and like I am now and saying, look at what you did. I did this. I took that leap. It's paid back like a hundredfold. And it's like, look at what I've co-created with the one, with the universe. Anything is possible. It's all about what you believe to be true or not. And I never thought I would be in this, but look at me. I'm doing it. And I know that you can have it too. And I invite you all to really go inward and think about, where do you want to be in like 6 months, even 3 months from now with your career? Do you want to be where you are now? Or do you want to go outside of your comfort zone and take that leap in the unknown? Everything's unknown. That's the thing. To something that you've never done before. especially with, well, with Arden. She's the something.
No,
And
I'm not the
watching,
something. No, but that's the thing. It's actually, I'm not the something. I'm just your guide.
yes,
I'm just the guy that's giving you a nudge, that's lighting the firecracker under your ass, like Amy said,
I
to
did it. I needed it.
to hold you accountable to all the things that you say you want, but you're too scared to move on because you don't have a safe guiding container to help you do it in a way that will be results driven, you know?
Yes. Yes.
Well, thank you, Amy, so much for
You're
sharing your
welcome.
experience. And you guys, please give her a round of applause. Thank you so much.
Aw. Love to you all. Mwah. I believe in all of you. Thank you, Arden.
And for every single one of you who's here today, thank you so much for spending this time with me. Honor yourself for showing up today, especially those of you who have been here all week. And I know it's hard. I hope that you have gotten everything and more that you wanted out of this session today. And now I want to share a little bit more with you about the opportunity to come train with us in the intensive training program. Now, if you feel like you've gotten everything you need from our sessions and you're ready to go out into the world with these new techniques, new ideas, your new mindset, and crush it at that higher level of success in your auditions and your performances and recordings, you are super confident moving forward at this point. There is no need to stick with me any longer today. I appreciate you. I value your time. And if you don't need anything more, no need to stay in the session. Go rock your tools, and I will see you back here tomorrow. But if you feel like, although you're super fired up about all the shifts that you're experiencing and the information and the insight that you've gained from what we've done so far, and you still feel like you really could use some targeted support, and you don't want to have to wing it on your own and figure it out the hard way, and you don't want more of the same frustrations and disappointments next year as this year and last year, and you want a blueprint to follow, and you want a proven system that is already vetted for you to get from A to Z in your singing and in your career, and you want the support to completely skip over all the trial and error. What method, what technique, how much this, what more of that, like skip over all the guesswork and all the super expensive testing that I had to do, trying out all these different modalities to figure out what works, what doesn't work, right? You guys, I can just give it to you and not just walk you through the foundational method, but also show you how to implement it in your body, in your mindset, give you the support, the accessibility, the reinforcement of eyes and ears on you regularly to make sure that you're implementing these strategies correctly in your body. So no more second guessing or continuing to practice in the bad habits without realizing it. And mirroring back to you all the ways that you're getting in your own way to that end that you are not even seeing that's affecting your results and your impact. So if you feel like you really could use targeted support, then stick with me here because I want to walk you through how we get faster results. So this is an opportunity that I can give you to help you take all the work we just started here and bring it full circle to get those results that you want and that you need in your singing long term. So you can work the tools on your own, or I want to invite you to consider option number 2, which is work with us in our intensive training program. So this intensive, it is our flagship all-in-one holistic training program where you get the foundation for technical mastery, finding and unleashing your unique artistry, your authentic voice, and a blueprint for mastering your mindset. And so these are the pillars that we set with you so that you can soar to the top of your potential and rise above the crowd and the competition for the career that you really want. And so here's specifically how we deliver that. You have me and my team working with you individually, looking at your technique every which way and coaching that within the context of your mindset and your artistry, just like you've been watching me doing in the last few days. And we do that in 3 group master classes a week. And we keep the group nice and small. We never have more than about 10 to 12 singers in any class because it's a lot of individual attention. So you're not just getting the benefit of my individual coaching with you. You're getting the benefit of my individual coaching with every other singer that's in there. And so you're getting answers to questions that you didn't even know you had, and you're getting breakthroughs on things that you didn't even realize were problems. So To that end, you will have your own dedicated mindset coach to help you and work one-on-one with you, understand the thinking going on behind the singing, and to also support you if you get overwhelmed or you get scared or stuck or stressed or like any random thing comes up that you need with support with. We go above and beyond what any other training program I know is willing to do. And that's why we have the best results in the shortest period of time. And you will meet our mindset coach, Judy, tomorrow. She'll be Saturday, in Saturday's session. And so as far as how we do this, to build you this foundation and get you everything you need, we'll be working together for 4 months. So it's an initial 4-month training container. And here's what's cool, which is everything is customized to you. So once you enroll, the first thing that happens is you're connected with your one-on-one mindset coach to work with you. And you have an intake call with her. And on that call, she will map out your exact game plan for the next 4 months. So exactly how you go through the program, use all the support to get the most out of it, the parts that we'll be doing with you, the parts that you are responsible for, and everything else. So we leave no stone unturned. We really make sure that you have all the support and everything that you need to get the transformation. So she will walk you through all of that on your welcome call. Make sure you have exactly what you need. You get access to the first week of trainings right away. So we have a members area and you get a login, and that is where all of our module trainings are. And each week, a new module of trainings opens up for you. And in each module, there are technique trainings. There are vocal exercises and MP3s to practice with that go along with the technique trainings. There are mindset exercises. There's a daily meditation that changes each week. There is a thought exercise that you do once a week to get clarity on the thinking going on behind the singing. And then you're coming into class 3 times a week, and we have eyes and ears on you, and we're coaching on everything that you're learning in the modules to make sure that you're implementing it in your body in the right way. And this is not like, I like to say this is not like 9 hours of content a day, and it's not like you're drinking from a fire hose. This is not that. This is built for busy people. It's about, I'd say 45 minutes to 90 minutes a day, depending on, the week and where you're at, that you can piece out throughout your day. So you can do your 20-minute meditation in the morning, and then come back later in the day and do 15, 20 minutes of your vocal exercises, watching a technique training, doing, this is built for busy people. So it's not overwhelming, okay? And so then you will start coming to studio class twice a week. You will have group mindset call once a week. You will have technique pods that meet bi-weekly, and your coaches will set up, and your mindset coach will set up that first one-on-one call to answer your questions, make sure you have everything you need. And you will realize really quickly how supported you are, that this is exactly what you need and what you've been looking for, because you're not going to have to wonder anymore what you don't know that you don't know. And that's why our singers get better results in a shorter period of time than any other coaching method that I know. And you guys, I have coached in them all, and I have been coached in them all. And if I thought that there was any other way for you guys to get results, because your results are my North Star. If there was any better way to get results, I'd be doing that. That's why I don't do just traditional old-fashioned one-on-one training anymore. Come for a lesson, do it once a week, do it in person, do it online, whatever, and do that until the cows come home. How many of you have trained that way? Probably most of you. And yet you still have the same issues that you've been dealing with, because it's not holistic. It's not addressing the entire picture, okay? So this is why we get the results that we do. And as you know, I mentioned yesterday, normal program tuition is $9K, but I'm giving a bunch of bonuses during this workshop week to those of you who want to join us for training and who enroll by Sunday night. So the first bonus is a massive tuition discount. I'm giving everyone here a $2,000 tuition discount off of the intensive from now until Sunday night for everyone here. So tuition is just $7K until midnight Sunday night. Second bonus is an audition self-tape critique of one song. Third bonus is a full audit of your artist website or EPK. And then the last bonus is 2 one-on-one lessons with me, in addition to all the individual coaching we're already doing in the program, for the first 3 singers who opt for the pay in full tuition option. So we have 2 ways of paying tuition. You can do monthly, which is $18.97 a month for 4 months. Or if you want to save more money, the pay in full is $7K. And so for the first 3 singers who opt for that, you will have one-on-one time with me in addition to everything else that we're doing. If you would like to learn some more details about the intensive training program, we're putting a link in the chat where you can get all the details that we just spoke about. You can watch singers talking about their experience if you want to do more of that. And it has the tuition mapped out, and you can literally take care of your tuition right there. Like I said, we have flexible payment options. You can break it down into 4 monthly payments, or you can even do PayPal financing, which depending on the rate and term that you qualify for, you could get into the program for as low as like $350 a month, depending on the rate and the term. The other thing is, for those of you who are like, well, maybe could we get even more creative, even more resourceful? Like you guys, I've had singers do all kinds of awesome, like creative, getting really resourceful and really creative for the investment, because they know they need to be here. They know they can't keep doing what they've been doing. It's not working for them. They want the change, and they're just like, okay, how can I get resourceful? So for example, 0% interest credit card. You guys know 0% interest credit cards? Like, the card companies, they want your business. And so they say, okay, no interest for the first 18 months on all new purchases, or no interest for the first 21 months. So I'm going to put a link to NerdWallet, because they do the best 0% interest credit card offers every month. And you can go and you can look and see what, here, let me put this in here. What's out there right now. Whoops. And the reason why this is great is because if you qualify for one of these cards, like for the last year or so, Wells Fargo has been offering 21 months no interest to all new purchases for people who get that card. If you were to put the 7K on the Wells Fargo card, you have 21 months to pay it off with no interest. It's like $330 a month. That's a no-brainer. That's like free money, right? So when we talk about I don't have any money being just an excuse, you guys, I don't care if you have $1 million in your bank account or you have $0 in your bank account. What I care about is, are you sick and tired of being stuck where you are, watching somebody else on that stage when you know that should be you? And are you ready to do and get creative for whatever you need to do to fix it? And if being and working with us is resonating with you, like, get creative. 0% interest credit card. Do a GoFundMe campaign. Crowdfunding, a Kickstarter campaign. Go on Craigslist and eBay. What can you sell? I've had lots of conversations with singers about this. What do you have that's in your closet, in your attic, in your garage that you don't use anymore? Old gifts people gave you, old jewelry, old appliances, bikes, cars, whatever, clothes, things that you can sell on Craigslist or eBay. Put that towards the tuition to save your voice and save your career. Look and see who in your life might be willing to invest in you. Close family, friends, people who say, I love you, I believe in you, who might be willing to loan you some or all of the money to save your voice and help completely change your career. Or gift it to you if you're that lucky, right? So it's like we're piecing all of this together. Because I don't have the money, like there may be real circumstance around that. And maybe you can get a side hustle. I was talking about this with one of you the other day. What could you do? Could you drive Uber for a few months? Could you nanny for a few months? Could you, I don't know, like you figure it out. But the thing is, if you just sit back because I don't have any money, then you won't have any money. I'm going to invite you to borrow my belief around money, which has served me well over the years, which is it's just money. I can go out and find more. Now that is an empowering belief. I don't have any money. That's a disempowering belief. I don't have it. I can't get it. Is what it is. Versus it's just money. I can go out and find more. I invite you to cultivate that belief if that's something that has been stopping you. Whether it's having to, want to come in and work with us, or whether it's just like in general in your singing career, hiring musicians, hiring producers, whatever it may be. Okay. Keep your eye on the goal, on what you want. Okay. And I am inviting you to be all in. If you want significant changes in your singing and in your life, and that's a hard thing to do, you guys, that is not the norm. It is not what most people do. Most people just stay in their excuses. But if you want significant changes in your singing in your life, I'm inviting you to be all in. I'm inviting that of you because I know what you want to be. I know who you want to be artistically, vocally, professionally, personally. 2 years from now, 10 years from now, guys, we do not do the norm here. You heard Cora talk about it. You heard Amy talk about it. You'll hear more as we go on the week. We don't do the norm here. You cannot be doing the normal and expect the extraordinary. It's not how it works. So that is the invitation and the commitment that we have here so that you stop settling and have the best team to guide you to the best results in the shortest period of time. And so if you would like to book a short discovery call with me to talk it out and find out if the intensive training program is a good fit for you, if it's going to meet your goals, your specific singing goals, then absolutely get on my call calendar, book a short call with me. Ashley just put the link in the chat, copy it down, paste it, get on my calendar. Again, it's not a coaching call. We're not going to sing. It's just we're going to talk about like what if I've gone over in the last 15 minutes is going to be a good fit for you to move you forward and move the needle and meet your goals. So we'll hop on a call and I can answer any lingering questions that you might have. And if it's a fit, we'll figure out the financing. We'll figure out the tuition. And if it's not, that's okay too. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about finding your sound, finding your unique sound and making a sound your own, making a song your own. I'm going to give you one of my favorite processes to tap into your unique artistry. It's a step-by-step process to find your unique authenticity in a song and learn how to be more than just a good parrot. So how to access your authenticity and make audiences want to keep coming back for more because you're the only one who's bringing that. It's your special sauce. So that's tomorrow. Don't miss it. Tonight, play with your energy exploration cards, okay? You're going to be directed to pick one and then engage with it. So follow the instructions. And again, if you want to learn more about the training program, the link is in the chat where you can learn more and enroll, as well as book a discovery call. And guys, if training with us feels aligned with you, get your butt in here before the 2K discount expires on Sunday night. All right? Okay, guys. Really good work today. Celebrating all of you who have stuck with us, and I will see you in tomorrow's session. Bye, everybody.